Hi there! In this video we're going to talk about composite area of rectangles and circles. So what does that mean? A composite shape is a shape that's made up of multiple shapes. So in this case we're going to make one big shape out of rectangles and circles, and we might even we'll choose some semicircles, and sometimes even in these problems you do quarter circles. So those are things you want to take into consideration when finding the area using the circle formula. And so we're going to find the area of these shapes. So just as a reminder, I have the formulas here for the area of a circle. The area of a circle is pi r squared. And if you're doing something like a half of a circle or a semicircle, you would just want to take, so a semicircle would look something like this, and you would just want to take 1/2 of pi r squared, or a quarter of a circle would look like, this. And you would want to take 1/4 of pi r squared. So depending on the shape of the circle that you have, or the type of circle, if you have a whole circle, you're going to use the whole circle formula, pi r squared. If you have a half a circle, you take that and you multiply it by 1/2. Or if you have a quarter of a circle, you're going to take that formula and multiply it by 1/4. And then we have our basic rectangle area, which is length times width. So I have 3 examples for you of different kinds of ways that we can combine together circles and rectangles to get different composite shapes. So we're going to find the area of each shape below. So here's our first one. This looks something like a track that you would run on for track and field. So we want to find the area of this shape. So we're talking this whole shape here. You can see it's made up, though, of the rectangle here. And then we have these 2 semicircles, here and here. And because these 2 semicircles are on this rectangle that they share this side, these 2 semicircles actually make up a whole circle. So when I'm doing these, I like to write out my formula. So I'm going to take the area of my rectangle plus the area of just one circle, okay? Because these 2 circles on the left and the right, they make up one circle. So what do I have to figure out? Well, the area, so I'm going to say the area of my shape, if this is my overall formula, is equal to the area of my rectangle plus the area of my circle. Okay, so area of a rectangle is length times width, and area of my circle is pi times r squared. Okay, so my length and my width of my rectangle are 93 and 62. And the radius, so then I have times pi, and the radius of my circle. Now remember, the radius is half of the diameter. So this is going to be your radius here. So what's half of 62? That's 31. So your radius is half of 62, which is 31 squared. Okay, now depending on if they want an exact answer or if they want an answer that's rounded, we can do both. So I'm going to take 93 times 62, and that gives me 5,766. And 31 squared gives me 961 times pi. Now this would be my, and it would be meters squared. This would be my exact answer. But that doesn't really mean much to me. I want to really know how big that really is. So I'm going to multiply the pi through. So this gives me 961 times pi. I'm just going to write up here because I'm running out of space. So I have 5,766 plus, when I multiply the pi, it gives me 3,019.07. And I add together the 5,766. Total gives me 8,785.07 meters squared, and that would be my whole area of this track, if we wanted to call it a track. Okay, now we're going to change it up a little bit. here I have a combination of a rectangle and a circle, but you'll see that your circle is kind of cut out. So I'm trying to find the area of this shape here. Okay, but notice I have this semicircle here. It's not part of my area. So to find the area of this shape, I'm going to take the area of my rectangle and I'm going to subtract the area of a half a circle. I'm taking it away. So, same formulas. The area of a rectangle is length times width. And my formula here, I have half a circle, which is pi r squared. Okay, my length and width of my rectangle are 30 and 18. Minus 1/2 times pi. Now my radius, remember, is half my diameter, so this. So 1/2 of 18 is 9. Okay, and we'll do the math. So we're going to round this one. So I got 30 times 18 is going to give me 540 minus half of pi times 81. Okay, so I'm just going to plug this whole thing into my calculator. 540 minus 1/2, you can use 0.5 if that helps, times pi times 81. Ultimately gives 412.765. And we are on inches squared. Now, if you don't have a good calculator where you can just type this in, I highly recommend using the Desmos scientific calculator. It's an app that looks like this one that says scientific. And when you open up the app, you can type everything in the way that you have it written. So 540 minus, you can even do the fraction, 1/2 times pi times 81. And it will give you the answer in a decimal. And if it's an answer that you can use as a fraction, it will also give you your answer as a fraction. If I didn't have this pi in here, I'll just show you really fast. You can click this button here and it'll tell you what your answer is as a fraction. Okay, so there's that. And last but not least, our last example. This would be a good one to try on your own. So we're going to try to find the area of this shape. This is the same concept here as the last one, except now, instead of taking out a half a circle, I'm actually taking out a full circle, because this circle over here plus this circle, or semicircle plus the semicircle on the right is going to give me a full circle. So the area of this shape is equal to the area of a rectangle minus the area of a full circle. So I have, again, length times width minus pi r squared. The length and width of my rectangle here are 12 and 27 minus pi times my radius. Remember, my radius is half the diameter, or half of this here. Half of 12 is 6. So minus 6 squared. And then just to show you, you could just go ahead and plug this right in all the way on your Desmos calculator. So I could do 12 times 27 minus pi parentheses 6 squared. And just do it in one swoop. It's kind of the easiest way. I like to do it this way if I don't need any sort of intermediate or in-between calculations. So it tells me that my answer is 210.902, and my units on this are centimeters squared. Now, depending on how you round, I always like to give 3 decimals unless they tell you to round differently. So if they wanted you to round to the nearest tenth, it would be 210.9 centimeters squared. And don't ever forget your units. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.